Now I've got a neat little pattern for you today. It's one I came up with just about an hour ago because I needed it on the water last week and I didn't have anything like it. I like fishing sleek streamers, but I needed one that was heavy. I mean, who wants to put a split shot in front of your streamer? So this one's just a simple hair wing. In this case, using cinnamon bear for the wing, but you could just as easily use pretty much any hair. A red fox would have the same properties as this one. You could use squirrel, raccoon, even some stiffer hair like bucktail or even a skunk. Of course, the stiffer hair is going to have different properties, but the utility in this fly is the heavy wire body. And oh yeah, since this fly does not have a name, let's do another Name the Fly contest. And how that works, just watch the video, then leave a comment with what you think we should call this thing. In a couple of days, I'll pick the top 5 or so and then we'll put it up for the vote. And I'll send the winner a $25 gift card to Jay Stockard and a Savage Flies hat. So that's it, folks. Can't wait to hear some of the fun names y'all come up with. So there it is in the vise, the as yet to be named heavy but sleek streamer made out of bear. This is a size 6, it's 3 extra long barbless streamer hook. And I'm going to use some black thread. This is a 140 denier. Catch it in anywhere near the middle of the hook. And just take it back to the start of the bend. And the first thing we're going to catch in, just tuft of bear. And this cinnamon color, that's about what the wing is going to look like, but we're just catching it in right here for a tail. So let's go about right there. A few wraps right here, and you can make them kind of tight if you want. You could always throw a wrap up under if you wanted to prop it up a little bit. I'm not going to. But I am going to leave this and do some loose wraps going up to bulk up my body just a little bit. And what this will do for us is we'll end up with more of the weighted wraps that we're going to use for the main body. Okay, so that's fine right there. A couple tight wraps. And snip off this excess. And we're going to catch in some wire. Kind of ribbing material. This is a size medium. You certainly don't have to go with 2 different colors here, but I'm going to. I'm going to go with the red and silver. Just catch it in somewhere kind of up front right here. And my goal here will just be to kind of keep these parallel, wrapping them back. It'll keep my body fairly smooth. If you don't make that happen, I wouldn't worry about it, but go ahead and catch it in all the way to the tail. Okay, with your thread hanging up front, we're just going to wrap these both at the same time. And my goal here will just be to keep them kind of consistent. If, you know, red is at the front or the back, try to keep that going all the way up. And if you don't get them perfectly close together and you see a little bit of black underneath, I wouldn't worry about it. I think it'd be kind of cool with this red, silver, and a little bit of black showing. But this might take you a minute here unless you got a rotary vise. Just go ahead and wrap them all the way up to the front. Okay, and I'm starting to run out of wire here. I don't really have a whole lot to grab, so I'm going to catch it off where I am. And this is a medium, which remember that's size a little bit bigger than a brassy. So it takes some tight wraps to lock this in. And can I helicopter them off? Let's try. Okay, that one came off fine. And that one did too. Just be careful if you got some sharp nubs right there. Might want to throw a few loose wraps right here to bury them. Okay, and with our thread a little bit to the back, take another tuft of this bear. Probably about the same size. You got a lot of under fur right here. You might want to pull that out, or you might not have to. We just want this to be about as long to the back of that tail right there. So I think that is going to work. Spin this thread clockwise, cord it up a little bit, which will give me a tighter bite for these first couple of wraps. And then you can let it flatten back out. So there we go right there. A few extra wraps going forward. And let's snip this. If we can get this at an angle, that will give us maybe a better bullet looking head. And just take your thread up front and then we'll ramp it back up. And I might want to go just a little farther back right here. I think we're ready for a whip finish. This head might be getting a little bit big, but it's still a perfectly fishable fly. And there we go. Just a little bit of head cement or UV resin up there, and I think we got a neat, heavy, but fairly sleek streamer. So I appreciate you watching, folks. Make sure you leave a comment with what you think we should call this thing. Okay, thanks for sticking around. I've got a quick fishing clip for you. It's last Saturday. I'm on the Savage River. It's about 7 o'clock at night. And I've got a couple of small guys, maybe 8 or 9 inches or so, fishing with a size 18 floss body sulfur dry fly. Well, it was really, you could consider it a semi-dry fly because the only thing keeping this thing floating was a little bit of hackle up front. So after a couple of fish and then losing the fly in a tree, I'm heading back to the truck about to call it a day, but I have to wade back across the river and I see a couple of pretty decent fish rising. But it was a pretty tough spot to fish. They were in some fairly deep water with moderate current. I was standing in fast water and I was going to have to cast across a couple of boulders to get to them. But of course, I'm going to try it anyway. Here's that clip. One way down there under that log. That's about 50 feet out there. I'm going to rest this guy and then just see if I can have just some miracle. I'll get a good cast out there and he comes up for it. It would be a miracle. I mean, that's a long way out there. Oh, look at that. He came up for it. He did. He got it. All right. Look at that. He's a decent fish. I don't know how I'm going to play him. I got a bunch of rocks between me and him. I'm going to have to kind of pull him up between these rocks. I don't know. That's going to be tough. All right. He's jumping. He doesn't want to come up between these rocks. I'm going to have to kind of walk over here. Alright, he's a decent fish. He's not huge, but he's not tiny either. Alright, so just keep him tight. I'm going to try to come over here and get, oh, he's running. Try to get downstream of him. Alright, got my net out. He's got a good bend in it. Oh, don't run. Oh, my foot's stuck between these rocks. Oh, damn it. There we go. He's off. And my foot is lodged in between these rocks right here. It's really stuck in there. Can y'all see that? All right. Well, isn't that something? So that just happened. And I know we don't catch them all, but I was kind of proud that I was able to get that fish to take, despite the fact that I got my boot stuck in a rock and I lost the sole to the boot, which I use the corkers that have the removable soles on it. And I guess that one came off and washed somewhere down the river because I didn't notice it was missing until I got back to the truck. So that was my Saturday night. We'll see you in a couple of days.